Hello everyone, I'm silentdeth, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Space Engineers, episode 20. Today, we are going to be revisiting our atmospheric miner here. Now that we have gold, we can upgrade these thrusters here to the tiered atmospheric thrusters, giving us a much more lift capacity. That'll also mean that we're going to have to upgrade the power usage. And generally, I want to give it a bit of a facelift and maybe fix some of the problems or some of the things that I don't like about it. Normally I would just show you everything, but I think we're going to do some of the designing on camera this time. So first, let's grab a copy. We'll rip all the thrusters off. We are going to go straight up to Tier 4. Might as well go all out. 50 superconductive conduits for the large ones, and 35 for the small ones. I think we can afford that. We do need to figure out how much power these are going to require. So we'll just kind of find a place to stick these for a moment. So up to 38.4 megawatts for one engine. That's a large one too. And 11.2 for a small engine. That means we're going to need quite a lot of power. Another thing I don't like about this is the way the cockpit is. We have this cockpit here so that we can have a good view, but it doesn't really flow right here. I just really don't like that at all. I want to keep this kind of flattened teardrop shape for the overall vessel shape, but I also think we can do a little bit better on this top part. Maybe. The drills are probably going to stay more or less the same. We may make a few tweaks. Technically, we could probably get by with 2 drills. At least in terms of how much ore is going to be underground. That's about how wide the ore veins are on the planets. But we had the third one just to allow us to have some more maneuvering room. Maybe we'll tilt them sideways or something. That might help. We could also upgrade it to twin drills, which would help with our visibility. Those are much smaller. And I think they still have the same range as this one. So those would help a lot. But first, let's focus on the cockpit, and then we'll worry about the power. Cockpit is going to be kind of important for the design part. Alright, I'm going to set up something with all the different cockpits we have and see which one we like best. We have a number of cockpits to choose from. We have this mini Spectre cockpit, Spectre, which isn't bad. It's got decent visibility. It does have that gap in the windows. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that. This first panel right here is just like a right interface, so we can read that easily. Then these other 2 panels that we can look at. It's a nice contrast between visibility and readability of the LCDs. We have the enhanced cockpit concept, which is what we're using right now. And it has a number of LCDs. Some here, I think there's some that can go up top and in the sides here, but none of them are really visible. You can see like the top, the middle one. I guess we could go look at the one where you already have the LCDs in. Yeah, you can see like the top of the middle one normally, but the other ones you kind of have to look down at. Which is a little bit inconvenient, though it does have really good visibility. Which is why we chose it in the first place. The next cockpit is the vanilla cockpit, the short vanilla cockpit. The best visibility, but of course no LCDs at all. So we won't be using that. Then we have this cockpit. What are you again? Too many mods. The Lail cockpit. Very poor visibility, but very good visibility in terms of LCDs. All these can be a LCD. So you'd have 4 of them just right in your face. Again, you wouldn't be able to see the actual organ. You'd probably end up running into something with that, so I don't think we're going to be using that one. We have the other half of this, which can fit in behind this, or it can be a cockpit on its own. Though, I think once you get the LCD here, that's going to be like right in your face there. Alright, apparently the LCD has to attach to the front part, so that's just right out. Can't be using that one. Then we have the 2 azimuth options, which is a standard little cockpit. This one is kind of probably the worst option. The only thing it has going for it is basically looks. It has poor visibility and no LCD screens. This is a not terrible option. We could build our own little cockpit console, so we have kind of the LCDs coming in from the side and still have good visibility going straight forward. That's something that we might want to do. We have the vanilla cockpit here, which is probably on par with that Lil cockpit, I guess, in terms of visibility and LCDs. The LCDs are right in our face. I guess we have a little bit better visibility in this. But once we put in the LCDs, they would be right in our face. And again, I don't think that it has enough forward visibility for what we want to do. Then, just for completionist sake, we have the full Spectre cockpit, or Spectre cockpit. I keep saying that wrong. Which is just completely impractical for the type of ship we're building. I think it's between this one and this one. So we'll have to come back to that, I think. Just kind of making some design decisions here. Showing you the process, as it were. Now let's see how much room our power is going to take so we can see what kind of cockpit we need. The thing I like about this one is it looks like we could have blocks up to like right here and still be able to see just fine. Maybe one more lower. Okay, yeah, that would be how we want it. Still only 2 block clearance, which I guess is the same as this one. Okay, so not a big bonus there. Never mind. I thought it was. Okay, yes. Let me try to figure out how much power we're going to need. I need to do a little bit of math. This is the power plant we would need for Tier 4 thrusters. It's a little bit large. You can see its size relative to our actual vessel, and it's almost as large as the vessel itself. So I think we're going to have to rein in ourselves a little bit. This is what we would need for Tier 2 thrusters, which is a bit more reasonable, and would also actually fit inside the vessel. So this is what we're going to be planning on using. we may just kind of group some of them together. Instead of having 2 here, we'll just have, or having 4 downward thrusters, we'll have 2 of just the next higher tier. Less chance of things breaking that way, I think. And it should also fit better with the mounts and stuff. Alright, now then, we're going to see if we can't make this prettier. We've wrapped this, the power pack, in some light armor. Added some computers, some timers, a couple of extra batteries. Then we went ahead and added the cargo, 4 medium cargo containers. And we've piped that up. Also added the connector on the bottom there. Some more batteries. We're up to 153 megawatts of power. Peak draw. So we're coming along. Now we want to work on the cockpit, which I think we're going to end up using this method and glass and build our own kind of cockpit, so we can have lots and lots of displays and keep everything going. I'm not sure if I'm going to add shields. We do have plenty of space right in here on both sides to add shields for this one. I never built the shields on the one that I have in my survivor world because we don't have platinum. However, I found out when we were doing the S2E20 episode that the little drones drop platinum. Enough for, well, they drop 5 platinum, and I think it takes 0.67 platinum to build 1 small shield generator. So that's something we might want to look at. Now, as far as the cockpit goes, I want to kind of lower it so that we can lower this center drill here a little bit. I would like it to be level with this as possible. If we could get like the cockpit that's, our view is right here where this light is, that would be kind of ideal. Would be, in fact, quite perfect. So that's kind of what we're going to shoot for. And now I lost myself again. Over here we're going to round this off. This will be the kind of the top part. We'll round that off, probably stick some more power in there, and then put on the engines in the back there. And then this is just going to come to a point like our original design. And we'll have to figure out exactly how we're going to do the cockpit. This thing is not that big. It's 3 by 2 by 1. Or is it 3 by 3 by 1? One of those. 3 by 2 by 1, okay? So yeah, we could fit that into a pretty small spot. And I think, how high is that? That's 2 right there. No, it's 3. So if we put the seat kind of right where that would be, we might be able to come up with something. Let's just see how this works. We've got the front slopey part done, with the little area here for the cockpit. Then this, all I think we've shown. And that expanded to here. We did the back part here. Then we went and used the twin drills here. Basically the same layout. We did manage to get this drill in line with the rest of them. You can see that right there. Some vents for oxygen to come inside. A sensor for automatically opening the door. Then we hop in and we have 4 LCD panels that we can look at, just read right away without really blocking our view that much. Our view is still a little bit narrow in terms of side to side. decent up and down, but kind of narrow side to side, which is a bit typical for mining ships. We could do better now that we have these smaller drills, but I'm not really going to fool with it. I think this is good enough. It's not really a bridge, more of a spacious cockpit back there. You can't get up and walk around in it. It's also kind of set inside a little bit so that the doors don't get beaten up. We have the same remote control that we had in the previous design. A little bit of a graphic glitch there. There is a block there. It just seems to be on that one side too. The other side is fine. A little bit strange. We did go with the tier 4 engines. We have this kind of little engine mount here. And the reason we did that is because I remembered about this mod, the power transfer mod, allowing us to wirelessly transmit power to our little vessel here. I have 4 of these, which are fully upgraded with these little guys, giving us a total transmittable power of 300 megawatts, in addition to the power we already have, which is 167.42 megawatts. So we have a fair amount of power coming in, enough to run all of these tier 4 engines. Now we have one last thing to do. Something we didn't do with the other one, which is color this. I want to get away from just making things all this one ugly gray color and actually start giving them a little bit of life. I am a little bit mixed on these twin drills. I may go back to the regular drills. I hear these are heavier than regular drills, even though they're actually smaller volume-wise. Now, I don't know how much cargo area they have. I was kind of counting on the drills having a fair amount of cargo. But back to what I was saying about color. I asked the last episode for some tips in coloring and things. And by far, I think the best suggestion that I've received, at least at the time of this recording, is the website color.adobe.com. It allows you to pick a color, and then it can show you various types of associated colors, such as analogous and complementary colors, and things of that nature. So you can just pick a color, and it will show you a whole bunch of different shades that you can use. It also shows you the HSB value, so we can translate it into the game color. And that is what we're going to be using. Additionally, it has themes that people have saved, so you can look at color, I don't know what the thing is, color swabs, is that right? I'm not sure if that's the right word. But color themes that people have already picked, groups of colors. Now this is going to be a mining vessel, obviously. And we are in the icy area, so the sunlight has a bit of a bluish tint. So we're going to make blue our base color. It's also, of course, the best color in the universe, being that it's my favorite color. And I wouldn't choose a second-rate color to be my favorite color. But we're going to have that as kind of the foundation color. And from there, there's a whole bunch of different ways we can go. As this is going to be spending a lot of time underground, we could go kind of towards the darker colors, like start shading it down towards black from a blue. We could do that 2 ways. We could do kind of the ice color, start at like a whitish blue, then go like the snow color blue, and then go down to ice lake blue, and drop down slowly that way, so the whole craft is still fairly light, until we get to, you know, a very like crevice, deep, gully type, dark almost black blue. Or we could do kind of a sea color and go like a pretty vibrant blue and then kind of greenish blue and then down darker, dark green, dark to black. Something like that. Or very almost black green. Or we could do kind of some bright colors. Since we're going to be underground, we might want to have the ship stand out underground. So we could do like dawn colors. Maybe get a little bit of reds and pinks and peaches mixed in with the blue and stuff like that. What else could we do? We could use the complementary color, which is kind of a yellowish, goldish color, which I don't think we're going to do. And I think that's all the options that I've picked. I guess we could go kind of a mountainy slate blue and go that direction. That would be maybe one option, kind of like an overcast skies type blue. I don't know which one we're going to use. I'm just going to try it out and see what works best for us. And I shall return once that is done. Alright, we have this one, which is kind of a skyish or bluish one. Little white stripe on the top. The top engines are white. And goes down to this dark little malted color of blue. It gets dark down in here. And things like that. The other one I have is this one over here, which is more sky colored, I think, with like fading to gray here, sort of overcast sky, I guess. Then a little bit of sea green, or malted black and sea green. A little highlighting on the tips of the drills. Then we go down to a two-tone room down here. I think I like this one better, actually. With the green and everything. I think it looks better. Slightly. So one last thing we need to do is to figure out how much weight this can carry. Facing in this direction, just running off these three engines. Because that's how much power we have built in to run. So let's go down to the planet and try that out. Alright, we're at 14.4 million kilograms. And we're only at 58% power out of 63 for our vertical thrusters. These are our weak vertical thrusters too. Still kind of fly along. Slowing down, of course, overloads us by a lot. That's why we have those power transmitters. That is just fantastic. There's no other word for it. That is a massive amount of cargo. I think it's just ice. What's that, about 1-to-1 weight? Yeah, looks like it. The craft weighs in right about 200k. So yeah, we can carry just massive amounts of ore. We can mine all of the stuff. Just all of it. And I guess that's going to be it for this episode. We have successfully upgraded our miner. I think we did a pretty good job on that. It's going to be a little bit expensive to weld all this stuff together, but we're going to be fine. We are going to be perfectly okay. You can find this up on the workshop under the Death's Atmospheric Miner. Mark II. It should also be a link in the description if you want to download it yourself. I will try to remember to put in all the mods that you need for this. Shouldn't be actually that many. But that is going to be it for this episode. Also, as this is episode 20, you should find a workshop download for our survival world. I think that should be in the description too. So, like if you like, subscribe if you're not, leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.